Hello, good afternoon, and good day, class. So now we're going to discuss the grading system. So I'm going to discuss my part. So guidelines for rating secondary student. The guidelines of rating the performance of secondary students are based on the enclosure 2 of that order number 33 series of 2004. The percentage distributions of weight for secondary students are shown in the given table below. So here are the table that the secondary student. So here, as you can see, that it all has 100%. So they were giving just like for example the quizzes, the unit tests, and also the output performance, the base for that. Okay, so now we have the components of the student grades. Below are the different components needed to computation of grades of the student for a secondary level in catch subject area from the enclosure to the upward order number 33. So number one, we have periodic periodic test, summative assessment of student learning at the end of the quarter. So the example of periodic tests are the the midterm or the final examination of the college student. So that will be the example of periodic test. Every end of the semester or the quarter, we have the periodic test. And the second one is the quizzes. It is the summative assessment of the students' learning at the end of the lessons. Quizzes given for the formative purposes are not considered in the computation of the student's grade but as a basis of making decision whether to proceed to the next lesson or teach. So as a teacher, you have to monitor the class if the student is catching up so that you have the authority to teach or base or just for example if ikaw kay maestra ka di ba kita nimo yung mga klase kay medyo magkalisod pa sila kanang catch up ato na mga um, kanang gamay lang mga quizzes so as a teacher dili ka pwede magkatugatog kag proceed so you have to kanang pre-teach so para mas makasabot pa yung mga estudyante. So number three, we have here the unit test, summative test, assessment of student learning at the end of the unit. So what is the meaning of this? So every lessons, diba? Just like for example, the chapter 4. So you have to conduct a unit test for that so that makabalo ba nimo if the student is have siya progress. And also, summative test can help if the student is naka-learn ba jud ba sa imong mga pangtudlo. So next is participation and performance, student involvement in the learning process individually and or in a group. Students' demonstration of skills or process, just like for example role play, theoretical performance, music, dance, oral reading, speech delivery, and experiment, and etc. So participation or performance are very important, especially ang mga student is um, especially now in 21st century learning dapat kailangan jud ta mahimong collaborative and also to be more participative especially sa tuwang um, this 21st century educator. So we have here the John Dewey at the learning by doing. So you have to learn by participating and then such. So we have the next is the project and output. So project offered or process, just like for example, the journal or research, or we have here the portfolio. So every so it will help the teacher to monitor more easily kay para mas makita nila kung sa itong mga output. Just like for example, kung sa ilang grado sa ilang summative tests, ilang quizzes, and sa ilang mga periodic tests. So that makita pa nimo mas mapadali ang process sa pag-grade. And last, the next is assignment. Work usually done outside the room in preparation for the next lesson and maybe involve the application or extension of student learning. So assignment is um, will help the student to catch up for the next topic or to more or mas ma-learn pa yun ang sa pa yun ang kailangan pa lang sa isa ka lesson. Just like for example, um, ang timaestra kay mag-conduct na para sa next lesson. So, maghatag siya assignment that kanang na siya involvement ato sa next lesson. So, the student will have an sa idea para sa mga next topic. Next, the behavior. Observe all the manifestation of students' feelings, thought, attitudes, reflect and edukasyon sa pagpapahalaga all through every subject teacher is expected to contribute to the assessment of the student behavior. So if you could still guys remember that in in the grading of the sa tuwang sa tuwang grade sheet, di ba dati sa tuwang ano is na naman sa tuwang likod is na kanang SO ano di ba? So kumbaga mo tong murag imong kanang pamatasan. So diba to na SO ana diba daghan kay to siya. So mo to siya ang mga behavior sa isa ka estudyante. And also move forward, we have the method of the computing the final grade. There are two common methods of computing the final grades. These are the averaging method and the cumulative method. The computation of final grade will depend on the grade policy of the school or the colleges or the university. In the case of public elementary schools, averaging method is utilized as defined in the DepEd Order number 33 of 2004. So sa DepEd, isang ginagamit nila is the averaging method. So the next is we have our summary. So the grading and reporting system is constructed for approach use the school to assess, record, and communicate students' academic performance and progress. So overall, it plays a central role in the tracking academic performance, supporting instruction, and maintaining accountability and education. So I believe that um, teachers has to be very transparent in the grade kay para na mapakita sila sa mga estudyante and also sa mga parents. So grades plays a crucial part, especially sa mga estudyante para makita ang progress, especially grade. Every grade by grade, your grade year is kaka-grade sila, ka-evolve sila. So it's a great way to assess the student and also to see the progress of them. So that will be my part and thank you so much.